Blessed are the clean of heart, for they shall see God. So these children were remarkably innocent. And one story that jumps to mind thinking about the beatitude of the clean of heart is little Jacinta. When she's dying, she's being operated on. She had to stay in 2 different hospitals before she dies all alone. And she knows from Our Lady that she's going to go to 2 hospitals and that she's going to die all alone. But one of the most agonizing things for her was that when she's on the surgeon's table, they had to strip her naked because of the work that they had to do, right? And she was upset and even weeping at the thought that somebody could look at her in her condition and have a bad thought. So that's what a sensitive, I wouldn't say she was a scrupulous child. She was being sensitive. She had a sensitive conscience, and she didn't want to be a cause for other person's sins. And by the way, it was Jacinta who tells us that most people go to hell because of sins of the flesh. That was not told to the other children. Our Lady let that be known to her in a private revelation that she had alone of all the 3 children. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. One might look at the entire mission of the Fatima children as being an offering to establish peace. Okay, they're told to pray the rosary for peace and for an end to the war specifically. And they're faithful in propagating the rosary as a means of getting peace. Peace, according to St. Augustine, the beatitude of the peacemakers is the highest. And it entails the practice of the virtue of charity, perfected by the gift of the Holy Ghost, of wisdom. It's the highest of the theological virtues, joined to the highest of the gifts of the Holy Ghost, that makes the peacemaker. And it's difficult to be a peacemaker. To be a peacemaker, one has to reconcile 2 contending parties. And anybody that's attempted to do that knows that there's a great difficulty entailed in it. And one has to be at peace within himself in order to do it. Yet the children did this. They tried to be peacemakers, not only among their friends, playmates and so forth, but also for the entire world. They were working to make peace, not only an end of the conflict we call war, but an end of the conflict that we call sin as well. All right, so lastly we have, blessed are they that suffer persecution for justice' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Now, we know the story, it's already been related, of the 3 children being told they're going to be boiled in oil, right, by this evil man known as the tinsmith. He has them literally kidnapped when they were supposed to have been, was in August, it was supposed to be August 13th, they were going to go to the Cova, and Our Lady was going to appear. She appeared. I mean, all the manifestations of her being there were seen by the people, the clouds and so forth, and the wafts of smoke that always accompany the Marian apparition. But the children weren't there. So she appeared to them later, elsewhere, on the 19th of that month. But the reason they weren't there is because they were kidnapped and subjected to cruel violence by being told they were going to be boiled in oil and killed if they didn't do what the tinsmith had said. They stood steadfast and they refused in their simplicity. They utterly refused. All of them thought they would die. But they didn't comply with this evil thing that they were being told to do and renounce the visions or tell the secret to the tinsmith. And of course, all of Sister Lucia's life, she suffered persecution, even as a child, from her own mother, who was good, right, and who loved her. That's the hardest thing to endure is persecution from somebody that you love. But she suffered persecution from churchmen, people who didn't believe her, people called her a fraud, all sorts of things like this. And I believe all of them had the merit and also enjoy now the reward of this beatitude of suffering persecution for justice' sake.